morning, everybody. Coffee in hand, water. It is an exciting day for me today because I have 5 days that before I have to work. Actually, not even, like 4 days before I have to head out for work. And this week we actually have good weather, and the meadow is dry enough to hay. So this is a very big deal for me because I'm going to try to hay. I probably won't get all of it, but I'm going to try my best to get a good chunk of it done. Time to get the tractor fired up, get the cutter going. And today the primary goal is to cut as much as I can. Tomorrow I'm going to rake, and then end of the day rake again. And then the next day I should start baling, and fingers crossed, as long as it goes well, we'll get it all done on that one day, but we'll see. In the meantime, Jess is visiting, and we got a log up on the mill to do up more garden beds, so she is going to be setting that up. I don't want to talk about that right now. That's the donor for my transmission for the 6x6, and it was really interesting getting it over here. So we're gonna deal with that in a bit. Okay, time to hook up a cutter.
If there's a job that needs pushed away, if there's a drink that needs
I'm excited. Okay, cutter is down. I'm just gonna set the height on this. We're going to do above that, and then set it in a neutral position approximately, and we're going to try this. Okay, I'm going to go for slow speed, but I'm probably going to have it in 3rd gear because that's a good speed to be in. And let's see if how well this works. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay. That's pretty good. Let's try it out. First cut of the season. Excellent. Fingers crossed it keeps going good. I've got all of that to mow. Okay, well, as always, problems. These are minor ones, so that's okay. So I'm cutting through some of the old stuff still. Which means that it keeps clogging up all this old stuff here, keeps clogging up the cutter. So I'm pushing, every time I mow, I push out a little bit further, closer to the shrubs where I still have some of the old stuff. So this is why this is happening. But as the years go by, this is going to get better and better. So nothing ever just goes right, does it? Okay. For some reason, the cutter just stopped working. Oh. Well, that would be a good reason. Somehow, all of these loosened up and pulled out, and now it's broken. Okay then. I don't know why the bolts came out. They're somewhere in the field. I'm sure I will find them later when I'm baling and they'll break something. Okay, I guess I am heading back to the shop now because I need to fix this. It's always got to be something. Just never anything simple. Okay, damage repaired, and hopefully it will not cause more issues down the road. So I went back to the shop, got some 4 shiny new grade 8 bolts and some nylon nuts and washers, because now the holes have become ovaled a bit. And we're going to try this again. I am really happy with the way that the meadow's growing. Hey! Cutting row upon row. Everything's going okay. So the sickle mower, which is what I have, is an okay cutter. It's not great by any means, but it is a very inexpensive cutter that does well at cutting grass and small shrubs and things like that. So for this kind of meadow, it's a very universal one. The biggest pain about it is that it's offset, so that when you're turning to the right, you can't get a clean cut. So what happens is I end up having to come up to a corner, and then I have to stop and backtrack. So I can't turn in and then get a good cut, because it's just going to end up being a mess. So every time I do, I have to shut off the PTO, raise the back bar, and I could do it in slow gear, but it takes forever. So then I got to shift it into fast, reverse, do a quick little turn, go into first, line up with this again, then drop the cutter, push the PTO clutch in, engage the PTO, go back into slow gear and into fourth, and then I can start cutting. Real pain in the butt. I will eventually upgrade to a nicer mower, but for now this will do. Okay. Nope. Helps if you don't go into reverse. There's a little white dot over there, and that is a hectare. Okay, another 90-degree corner. All right, up, off. Raise that up. Fast, reverse, and let's do it. First gear in high range is just a little bit too fast, so I have to drop it down to low range, and fourth gear, which sucks because then I have a lot of shifting to do, and sometimes it doesn't engage. Come on. No, that would be reverse. There we go. Well, it's day number 2. I didn't get everything mowed. I just ran out of time during the day, and I got the important kind of areas done that I wanted to. I'll mow the rest of it when I get back from work, but for now this will do. So today There's a fair bit of dew in the morning, and it hasn't been too warm, which is not great. But there's not much I can do about that. Sun is out. There's some rain clouds further off in the distance. I'm hoping nothing bad. So today I'm just going to rake. Maybe I can rake twice, which I need to do. And then tomorrow I'll bale. Or tomorrow morning I'll rake and then I'll bale in the afternoon. And then likely on the following day finish baling. So this is the first time using this rake. I just got it. Not very complicated. I mean, it's a rake, so not too much to it. There it is. It's raking. Now I get to do this for many hours. Drive around in circles. Really? With the panting. That's Misky. That's Jess's dog. Hector's over there. Not panting. Misky, she's a lab and she's been following me as I'm raking. Which, hey, guess what? Look at all that. Look at all of it. Ah. This is what happiness looks like. Yep. Second rake. Nice and dry. I'm going to be able to rake all of it that I've cut with the exception of 2 bays because they're still a bit on the wet side. But I'm going to be able to bale that, all of this, first thing tomorrow after the dew comes off. And then I'll rake the other meadow and then I think or the other 2 bays, and then that'll be it for what I need to bale. The rest of the stuff I am going to cut when I get back from work, but this gets me the majority of it that I wanted to get into. And one of 2 things is going to happen. One, I'm going to sell it to some people I know up in Horsefly, where they have horses and livestock, and they bought it off of me before, and this time it's even nicer. And so that's one option. Or 2, I'm going to trade the bales to my neighbor for half a cow, if I can get enough hay off of it, or a third. We'll have to see. But right now it's looking pretty good, and the quality, from what I know about hay, it's pretty decent. There is a nice mixture of different types of grasses. I did plant some timothy and a few others, so that's also in the mix. There's a bit of willows. Aside for that, there's actually wild mint growing like right there, and along that edge over there. So Hector, the idea is to be taking the big sticks off of the field, not bringing them back. Hey, bring it here. Yeah, really? That's the stick you bring? I'm trying to get the sticks off the field because I'm trying to bale. So this is not helpful. All right, I have to go deal with the dog. Last night, it hit -1. I had frost in many places, pretty much everywhere. Which comes with its own little challenges. So after raking everything, this morning I went out and had a look, and everything definitely had a small layer of frost on it, which can be concerning. But it's a nice hot day. Today's actually going to be, today and tomorrow are going to be the 2 hottest days, I think. So very quickly everything dried off. I went out, I had a look. It's important to, as I've learned, because I didn't know this, to check the hay, even underneath, because it can suck up moisture from the ground. Luckily, everything's good, so I don't have to spend the day re-raking everything. Otherwise, I would have to spend the next 3-ish hours or more, re-raking everything and then letting that dry and then baling, which would have added definitely more time to it. But I went out, I checked in the shaded areas. The hay underneath is still dry, so this is good. So I had to do a little bit of maintenance on the tractor, top off the oil. The hydraulics do leak a little bit, so I just got to top that off, and then get rid of the rake and hook up the baler. So now the really crappy part about this, because especially I'm under time crunch, is I'm gonna have to take off the rake, connect the baler, bale what I can other than the 2 bays which were a little bit more wet, and then after I'm done baling, or at least take a break halfway through baling, as the day gets warm, re-rake those 2 bays, and then swap back over to the baler so I can bale them up either, probably realistically at this point, tomorrow, unless I can do it end of today. So I've rewired, because when I got the tractor the lights didn't work, so I did a very quick rewiring, and good old Russian Belarus with next to impossible to find fuses now, but luckily the small ones do work. So I rewired it, so now I've got, when I flick the high beams on, the front and the 2 rear lights work. So if I have to bale tonight or late this evening, I will have that option. So there we go. All right. Got the baler connected. I tested everything before going out into the field, which is always a good idea. Knock on wood, it is all working. I've got my trusty border collie in tow, who is currently chasing butterflies. I don't know. Non-synchronized gearing. Gotta love it. That is a good looking field ready to bale. We're going to start off with the bales, or the windrows that I've got further out in the meadow. I'm going to let these ones dry out in the sun a little bit longer. So I'm going to do all the ones out there first, and then I'll come back and do all of this in here. And then I'll need to re-rake a bay that's over there and another bay that's over there, and bale those up once they're dry. And then I still have a bay in there I gotta mow, and then all of this obviously, and some over here. Gotta make sure the hoses don't get bound up or get sucked into the PTO. So that's pretty good. That's the rope for the tie mechanism. Not very fancy, but it works. And we got to drop the pickups. Ah, come on. There we go. And because it's an old baler, there we go. Okay, engaging PTO, and I think we're going to try this at a slow and 3rd speed. I can already smell all the mint on the field. I've got a bunch of wild mint, and you just smell it in the air. It's awesome. All right. Well, couldn't go smooth, could it? First problem. For some reason, the pickup stopped working. And that is chain driven through here. I got to figure out why. Oh, come on. Okay, got to figure it out. I have to say, it's doing a pretty good job of picking up. So replacing all the pickups was worth it. So So this is where the belt tensioner is for that drive, so that's what's slipping. So I'm just going to increase that belt tension a little bit, and then hopefully that's the end of our problem. Or I created a new one. We're going to find out. Okay, things happen for a reason. Once again, learning something new. Since I have no manual for this and I'm just figuring it out as I go along, the pickups keep stopping. It's not plugged up. There's no issues. I don't know why. And then I noticed that there's connecting rod right here that is connected to the arm, which keeps the tension on the bale, is also connected to the tensioner for the pickup. So what happens is when the bale reaches a predetermined size that is set over here, then it stops picking up and you know to tie it up. That's why it's stopping. So nothing's broken, nothing's wrong. It's just that's what it's set to. I can change that, but I really don't want to screw with this. Not right now, and not when I've got a whole field to bale. So I am just gonna wrap up this bale, pop it out the back, and that's it. And we're done with this one and start picking up the next one. Okay, there is my first official bale of the season. Nice. I may need to work on the roping though. Okay, I gotta spend a bit more time roping it, but there's my first one. There we go. Yes. Okay, time to make many, many more. Those are starting to look pretty nice. Getting some good wrapping going. I think I'm getting better at this. Okay, this is officially the first season I have done hay with zero help. In the past, Grant would help me out. The baler broke, there was issues. This year, I have managed to do all of this so far. Without any help. That is not to say that I know what I'm doing necessarily, but at least I was successful. So I've got 16 bales. Now this is not by any means any kind of a profitable business, because this size of bales I can usually sell probably for about $90. So that's about $1,400 and change for 4 days of labor, plus the cost of the tractor, the maintenance on the tractor, the fuel for the tractor, the cost of a sickle mower, cost of a rake, cost of a baler, the repairs to the baler, all the time into it. This is definitely, on a small scale, this is not a profitable business in any way, shape, or form. But I'm not doing it for the money. I am currently haying the meadow and selling off the hay so that it cleans up and I get rid of the willows, and it will be a good feed for when I get cattle. And then I will not be selling hay, it's all going to be going towards cattle. So this will feed the cows that I will own, which will give me beef, and they'll feed me. So that is my only goal here. Well, there is my lovely, lovely stack of bales, and this little one over here is a half bale. that was left over. One thing I do like about this baler is I can do little half bales like this. And that is going to be going for the goats. So the rest of the baling that I'm still going to do is going to go more than likely. I might be able to get another 3 bales off, maybe a few more. So I need at least 2 of them for the goats. But that is pretty nice, if I may say so myself. Oh, I'm tired.